Hi, hello, good evening. This is Dr. M. Saravanan, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Commerce International Business, Sri Narayanaguru College, Coimbatore. Hope all of you are doing good at home. Stay safe, stay home, and break the chain. Today, I have come with another subject on business research methods with a new topic on research process. Research process involves identifying, locating, assessing, and analyzing the information you need to support to your research question and then developing and expressing your ideas. There are 11 steps involved in research process: formulation of research problem, extensive literature survey, developing the hypothesis, preparing the research design, determining the sample design, collecting the data, execution of the project, analysis of data, hypothesis testing, generalization and interpretation, and preparation of the report. So these are the 11 steps in research process. Let us discuss one by one in detail. First one is regarding formulation of research problem. It refers to statement of the problem in a researchable manner. The researcher needs to refine the topic and clearly state what is intended to explore about the topic. Formulation of the research problem basically includes narrowing down the research area and formulating the objectives. Second one is extensive literature survey. Literature survey is something when you look at a literature in a surface level or an aerial view. It includes the survey of place, people, and publications in the context of research. And in general, literature survey guides or helps the researcher to define or to find out or to identify a problem. The third important step in research process is developing the hypothesis. A hypothesis is nothing but an assumption which can be proved or disproved. The researcher makes a prediction about some phenomenon that should be observed if the theory is correct. Again, this prediction is called a hypothesis. The researcher then conducts an empirical study to test the hypothesis. Finally, he or she re-evaluates the theory in light of the new results and revises if it necessary. This process is usually conceptualized as a cycle because the researcher can derive a new hypothesis from the revised theory, conduct a new empirical study to test the hypothesis, and so on. After extensive literature survey, researchers should state in clear terms the working hypothesis. It is made in order to draw out and test its logical or empirical consequences. Hypothesis should be very specific and limited to the piece of research in hand because it has to be tested. The role of the hypothesis is to guide the researcher by delimiting the area of research and keep him on the right track. It sharpens his thinking and focuses attention on the more important facets of the problem. It also indicates the type of data required and the type of methods of data analysis to be used. Fourth one is preparing the research design. The research problem having been formulated in clear-cut terms, the researcher will be required to prepare a research design. That is, he will have to state the conceptual structure within which research would be conducted. The preparation of such a design facilitates research to be as efficient as possible, yielding maximal information. In other words, the function of research design is to provide for the collection of relevant evidence with minimal expenditure of effort, time, and money. The research design decisions happens to be in respect of what is the study about, why is the study being made, where will the study be carried out, what type of data is required, where can the required data be found, what periods of time will the study include, what will be the sample design, what techniques of data collection will be applied, how will the data be analyzed, and in what style will the report be prepared. One can split the research design into the following parts. The sampling design, which deals with a method of selecting the items to be observed for the given study. The observational design, which relates to the conditions under which the observations are to be made. Third one, the statistical design, which concerns with the question of how many items are to be observed and how the information and data gathered are to be analyzed. Fourth one, the operational design, which deals with the techniques by which the procedures specified in the above three can be carried out. Fifth one is determining the sample design. It is the act or the process or technique of selecting a suitable sample. All the items under consideration in a field of inquiry constitute a universe or the population. A complete enumeration of all the items in the population is known as census inquiry. The researcher must decide the way of selecting a sample, or what is popularly known as the sample design. In other words, a sample design is a definite plan determined before any data are actually collected for obtaining a sample from a given population. There are two types of sampling design. First one is non-probability sampling and the second one is probability sampling. Under non-probability sampling, there are about 5 types of sampling, namely deliberate sampling, convenience sampling, judgment sampling, quota sampling, and snowball sampling. Under probability sampling, we have simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling, area sampling, multi-stage sampling, and sequential sampling. The next step in research process is collecting the data. Data is nothing but raw fact. The data collected has to be converted into a meaningful information. There are several ways of collecting the appropriate data in context of money, costs, time, and other resources at the disposal of the researcher. There are two types of data, namely primary data and secondary data. Primary data is nothing but data collected for the first time. There are various types of primary data. They are case study method, survey method, observation method, interview method, questionnaire method, and schedule method. There are different types of secondary data. Meanwhile, secondary data is nothing but data which is collected from the already existing resources. Information collected through censuses or government departments like housing, social security, electoral statistics, tax records, internet searches or libraries, personal documents. Next step in research process is execution of the project. Project execution or implementation is the phase in which the plan, design, and the prior phases of the project life is put into action. The purpose of project execution is to deliver the project in order to get the expected results. This step is very important in the research process because it ensures that the research is being executed systematically in a sequence, and if the execution of the research proceeds on correct lines, then the collected data would be adequate and dependable. The next step is analysis of data. After the data have been collected, the researcher has to analyze them. The analysis of data requires a number of closely related operations such as establishment of categories, the application of these categories to raw data through coding, tabulation, and then drawing statistical inferences. The unwieldy data should be necessarily be condensed into new manageable groups and tables for further analysis. So, a researcher should classify the raw data into some purposeful and usable categories. The main purpose of data analysis is to find the meaning in data so that the derived knowledge can be used to make the informed decisions. It is important in business to understand the problems facing in an organization and to explore the data in meaningful ways. Data in itself is merely facts and figures. So data analysis include organizing, interpreting the structures, and presenting the data into a useful information that provides a complete meaning for the data. The next step in research process is hypothesis testing. After analyzing the data, the researcher is in a position to test the hypothesis, if any, he had formulated earlier. Do the facts support the hypothesis or they happen to be contradictory? This is the usual question which should be answered while testing the hypothesis. Various tests such as chi-square test, t-test, f-test have been developed by the statisticians for this purpose. The hypothesis may be tested through the usual one or more of such tests depending upon the nature and the object of research inquiry. Hypothesis testing will result in either accepting the hypothesis or rejecting it. If the researcher had no hypothesis to start with, generalizations established on the basis of the data may be stated as hypothesis to be tested and subsequent researchers in time to come. And there are two types of hypothesis, namely null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. The hypothesis is called the null hypothesis. It is often referred to as HO. HO is usually opposed to a hypothesis called the alternative hypothesis, referred to as H1 or HA. The next important step in research process is generalization and interpretation. If a hypothesis is tested and upheld several times, it may be possible for the researcher to arrive at a generalization, that is, to build a theory. I can quote few examples. Every salesman lies to make more money on a sale. Homework is very easy. Most politicians are greedy and manipulative. As a matter of fact, the real value of research lies in its ability to arrive at certain generalizations. If the researcher had no hypothesis to start with, he might seek to explain his findings on the basis of some theory, and it is called as interpretation. Interpretation of data refers to the task of drawing inferences from the collected facts after an analytical study. In fact, it is a search for broader meaning of research findings. The process of interpretation may quite often trigger off new questions, which in turn must lead to further researches. Interpretation is useful is essential for the simple reason that usefulness and utility of research findings lie in the proper interpretation. Research can be better appreciated only through interpretation, why his findings are what they are, and can make others to understand the real significance of his research findings. Last step in research process is preparing the research report. Finally, the researcher has to prepare the report of what has been done by him. Writing of report must be done with greater care, keeping in view of the following: the layout of the report, which includes preliminary pages, main text, and the end matter. Research report is the systematic and orderly presentation of the research work in a written form. Research report is a research document that contains the basic aspects of the research project. Most research reports follow a specific list of sections. I said now, layout of the report, which includes preliminary study, main text, and end matter. And there are few sections which includes the title page, abstract, introduction, methods, results, discussion, references, appendices, and author note. So hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Hope it would be very useful for you, and catch you with another set of video with another topic next time. Bye bye.